Hi Pop Pickers, this is Mick Walsh, the Song Doc. I haven't had video up for a couple of weeks because I've been finishing writing my book, my ebook, and recording the accompanying MP3s. So I'm just going to show you, just going to have a quick flick through the book, and if you're interested in buying this book, you want to go to howtowriteahitsong.com. That's how to, the number 2, writeahitsong.com, or my other website, songcritiqueusa.com. So they're the two websites to go to. So basically, it's just to look at the book itself. It's an ebook, but it's in S.W.F format, which is Flash. Very easy to open. You just open it in your internet browser, Firefox or Safari if you're on Apple Mac, or Internet Explorer or Firefox or Opera if you're on Windows. You quite simply click at the bottom of the page, like so. The page will open. There's your chapter. If you want to go to a specific chapter, there it goes. It opens up for you. The book is it's more than just a songwriting course. There are lots of songwriting courses on the internet, but I haven't yet seen any that have been written by hit songwriters. This is from my perspective, so it's not just a songwriting course, it's a historical document of what happened to me when I was lucky enough to have my success. For those of you who don't know, my biggest success was a song called Dirty Cash Money Talks, which I co-wrote with Stevie V back in 1989. Became a massive hit all over the world in 1990, subsequently covered by Dizzee Rascal, which has given it a new lease of life. And the Dizzee Rascal Dirty Cash was then mashed up with Florence and the Machine, and I get songwriting credit and royalties for Florence's version of You've Got the Dirty Love as well. So you can see it can be, if you get songwriting right, it can be very lucrative. And I've managed to survive, since 1989 basically, on a fairly lucrative income from my songs. I've had other songs as well. I had a US #1 in the Billboard dance club and radio chart with a song called Set Me Free. I've had other stuff in the UK charts as well, but it's Dirty Cash and the derivatives thereof. It's actually one of the most covered dance songs of all time. So there's always, every year, there's kind of like a new version of it, which is nice. So all the way through it, the book, I give anecdotal evidence of what it's like to be a successful songwriter, what it's like getting the hit, what it's like having a hit, and what it's like during that time, and the demise, because everything comes to an end. Like, for example, let me just flip back a little bit. There's parts of the book, I'm not sure if that's forward. There's parts of the book where I talk about when I talk about using cognitive behavioral therapy to help writer's block. In England, I'm a trained counsellor, and I train in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And it really helps if you can understand your own mind when it comes to being creative. We all sit down sometimes and just have that writer's block, and you can get it for many reasons. You can get it because you're incredibly happy, or incredibly sad, or because it's raining, or because it's sunny. There are a million reasons why you can get writer's block, but nothing I've seen so far has really come up with, like, if you like, practical things that you can do from a psychological point of view. They're going to help you get through writer's block. I also talk about writer's block in as much as from a point of view when I had it. One of the things that happened with Dirty Cash Money Talks is that after it was a hit, it happened very quickly. It became a hit very quickly, and we had to come up with a follow-up. And we had the record company guy in the studio with us, telling us basically how we should write it. So there was a certain amount of writer's block there, which we managed to overcome, and the resulting song was pretty good. And again, it got into the UK charts, so not as high as Dirty Cash. But that kind of pressure, I talk about anecdotal stories of what that was like. I also talk about from writer's block when my publishing contract was about to be extended. Basically, when you sign a publishing deal, you usually sign for 2 or 3 years with an extension. The publisher has the option to extend. Now, my publisher told me they were definitely going to extend, so I went and bought this house on the strength that they were definitely going to extend my contract. Then they tell me that they're not, for various political reasons. The accountants basically run music industry. So I had to quickly come up with another song, another hit song, to try and keep my publishing deal. And that was very stressful. And I almost lost my publishing deal, but I did manage to come up with a song that got to #1 in the US Billboard Dance Radio and Club charts, called Set Me Free. I write about that. You can read about. There's a chapter all about that in the book. I also write about songwriting is very formulaic. Doesn't matter what genre you're working in. Songs that are hits. This book is specifically talking about songs, how to write hit songs, not how to write songs. Anyone can write a song, but if it's going to be a hit song, there's a formula to it. There's a formula and way of using hooks. Like here, I talk about ideas for titles. There's Florence and the Machine. You've Got the Dirty Lover, which I get a writing credit and royalties from, is on her new album Between Two Lungs. So like I said, here I talk about publishing. Lots of people ask me how publishing works. So I go into detail about digital print rights, how digital print rights work, synchronization rights. If you want to be a successful songwriter these days, the best way to make money is to sync your songs with TV and music. I talk about that. And I also come up in a chapter called Let's Get Busy. I'm not sure how many, but there are maybe over 30 practical songwriting tips and exercises that you can do, all interweaved with my experiences from songwriting. Like here in this one, for example, I talk about how I wrote the song The Hello Man for my band Number 9. The song Hello Man, for example, was written about a man who used to live in my hometown. He was harmless, but because of his size, quite intimidating. He was a resident of the local mental hospital, who had a policy of letting the patients integrate with society by kicking them out onto the streets every day, as opposed to keeping them warm and safe, which is obviously more expensive. So it's full of anecdotal stories, not just taken from this is what you do, here's an exercise, here's a tip. I've lived it. I mean, it also talks about the time when I was in, that's the current band I'm in now, Number 9. We're currently changing our name to Stalking Nuns. That's a long story. But I talk about the time, in one of the chapters, I talk about the time when I was in Los Angeles, and I was basically flown there, and for, I think it was like 3 weeks, and everything was paid for by the major publishing companies, EMI, Virgin, Sony. They paid for everything because they wanted me. Dirty Cash was already a hit in the UK, and they knew it was going to be a hit in the US, which it was. So everybody wanted me to write with them, to sign with them. So there's a chapter about, there's a little bit about how that happened. So here I'm going on to discuss formats for putting songs together using kind of songs that are already hits. Here's something I'm very proud of. Just make this big for you, like the actress said to the bishop. Here's my invitation from Paul McCartney in 1996 to a private party that he had, where I ended up jamming with him and singing with him. So this is unlike any other songwriting course that you're going to come across. It's a piece of history looking from firstly the outside, looking into the business, then someone who got into the business looking out. If you want to get the ebook, which comes with 23 MP3s, which is basically me reading the book. Some people prefer to listen to stuff. You can burn the MP3s to a CD, listen to it in your car, or put it on your iPod, etc. Some people just like to read, hence the book. Some people like to do both. whatever your preference is catered for. So you can get this this bargain if you go to howtowriteahitsong.com. The number 2 is actually the figure 2. So writeahitsong.com or songcritikusa.com. They're my 2 websites. Howtowriteahitsong.com. The number 2 is the figure 2. Songcritikusa.com. So I'm going to kind of somehow put that text on this video, hopefully. Thank you so much. I'll be up with another video on songwriting techniques. I may kind of like pull one of my songs that's already been established apart, and we'll look at it from a hooky kind of point of view. What constitutes hooks? Because basically, if you're writing songs that you want to be a success, it has to be as hooky as hell. Thank you so much. I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.